Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades, direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136, or at strongcreditrewards.com.
Nelson.
Good gravy.
A radio host.
Found myself 2 million short of a millionaire.
Barely understandable.
Gee, Monetti.
We can rebuild him.
Guy's bright as a napkin.
We have the technology.
You gotta work with design, vision, and focus.
Better than he was before.
It's not lonely in my head.
Funnier.
I'm staring at a bowl of spaghetti trying to figure out which two ends come together.
More informative.
Characters defined by what you do once you screw up, not if you make mistakes along the way.
And just as sarcastic.
You sausage.
Oh, come on!
Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
KTLK AM 1150, always exciting to be back together. And this time we're going to be studying the luxury market right here on Nelson Radio with one of the innovators of our industry, Villa Real Estate, finally injecting technology into a market that in many ways is archaic. I think I want to send them over to DMV or the post office in advance, have them straighten out a couple of organizations. I'm here with my co-host, Ron Quintero, the CEO of the Real Estate Radio Network. Ron, welcome to the program.
Nelson, great to be here. Thanks so much for having me here.
In your own right, you've taken the same approach to the industry. You saw that the real estate industry needed to be rejuvenated, reintroduced, if you will, into the marketplace. It fits well with your campaign.
You know, we saw the market starting to shift really heavy in 2007. Of course, mid-2007 with the implode, as they like to call it, within the subprime meltdown, the alt-age meltdown. You know, I knew we were in for about a 4 or 5 year really tough run. And in 2009, we just got so sick and tired of the evening news, all of the big channels. And I'm not going to name names on the radio, but you all know who they are. They all have 3 acronyms, okay? 3 letters. Yeah, 3 letters. And if it wasn't bad news, it wasn't on the news. So, you know, foreclosures were not up and prices were not down. It wasn't on the news. So we launched in 2009 the Bowels of the Market, the Real Estate Radio Network, and we now have over 100 people that we put on air around the country. And they're all local professionals because real estate is very local. And there's all kinds of things going on with the marketplace. And you know, you just mentioned as an example the luxury mortgage. Orange County, California, Palisades in Los Angeles, Santa Monica,
Many of the coastal communities.
They're all getting the signal right now. And I mean, when you see the Case-Shiller report, and they're talking about average 18% appreciation year over year. And in some of those marketplaces, we're seeing 22, 23, 24% in 1 year. The market has bottomed about 12 to 18 months ago. And anybody that's sitting there listening to the show right now, still waiting for the market bottom, it's passed you by.
It's gone by. Well, we're going to look at that throughout the show, the theme of state of the future, what innovations are coming into the marketplace, and certainly looking at Villa Real Estate's charge on bringing that technology into the marketplace. We're broadcasting from Antonello's Ristorante here in the South Coast Village area. They have a number of different things we're going to talk about with the owners of Antonello's, including romancing the stove.
Well, I hope it's going to be some Chianti involved and maybe some Brunello.
I'm certain that the red wine will be flowing. So we're going to be with the president of Villa Real Estate and also one of their founders and partners, Tim Carr. And then, of course, as we move past Villa Real Estate, we're going to move into the Stump the Experts, one of the favorites of our broadcast in terms of taking those tough listener scenarios, listener questions, and understanding what's going on. But before we jumped in there, I wanted to take a quick look at the financing side and how the jumbo market, the jumbo lending market, is also showing some signs of change and signs of life. I mean, the perception out there throughout the marketplace, I'm certain Tim is going to echo this, that lenders are still hesitant to lend. And I don't subscribe to that. I think that they only want to lend to people that run crazy thinking that pay back the loan.
I think they're against irresponsible lending. I think they're against lending money to people that don't or have never demonstrated their fiscal ability to manage money. So we had a lot of people in 2004, 5, 6, and 7 that were borrowing money and buying some insane values. I mean, values they had no business taking on.
Right.
But I think the luxury market, what you're talking about right now, is that higher end market. First of all, they've been put in a position of financial responsibility to be able to engage, where a lot of the rules and regs that we've seen come from the government have basically said, those of you that have not demonstrated fiscal responsibility, you're not allowed to this party. And what's kind of cool right now, what you're talking about, the luxury market, we're seeing more and more loosening because we're saying these people that have these huge balance sheets, huge cash flow, they have the ability to repay these loans. And so we are starting to see some gradual loosening of those guidelines.
Let me share you a couple examples of what I found out there in terms of the jumbo market doing just that, loosening up.
Let's do this. Wait, before you do it, I'm sorry. Identify and describe what is a jumbo market for the non-real estate.
Sure. And what the jumbo financing, obviously we're talking about the high balance lending, and these are for loan amounts above $417,000. There's been a subcategory that's been created as we've come through this recession that allows certain loans to go up to $625,500. But really the community of people that haven't been addressed are those that are looking for larger loan amounts above $625,000 and looking into borrow $1 million or $1.2 million or $1.5 million or greater. One of the things that we saw was in the relocation market, executives coming into the market, and there's some of the jumbo lenders out there now, the high balance lenders, are working with the relocation companies and allowing lump sum payments so that a relocation company can come in and cover the first 12 months or 6 months or 9 months of the mortgage payments, lump sum as part of the relocation package. I thought that was an interesting nuance, and as well providing advances on bonuses, or in some examples the companies providing second mortgages to cover these expenses for somebody that's relocating from Nebraska into the Newport Beach market. Shock. Yeah, recognizing that 4,000 square feet in Omaha is a little bit different than acquiring 4,000 feet in Corona Del Mar.
Yeah, and not to mention only 4 or 5 days of humidity here.
And the other thing that I found is that there's now a reintroduction of asset lending. What that is people that have accumulated significant wealth. Assets in the millions, 7 figures or not, where lenders are saying, okay, you may not be able to demonstrate qualifying from an income standpoint. You've been equally successful with your CPA and sheltering your income, but now obviously with your financial statement, you're eligible to borrow money and repay it back. And so there's a focus now, a heavier emphasis on the assets that are available to help people qualify that are in that scenario. And then just the obvious, looking at fixed rates in the jumbo category, it's free money, in my opinion. When you talk about fixed rates that are below 3.5%, up to $2 million, below 3% for 5-year fixed rate money, it's not an expensive proposition. So the coaching that I see coming out of the quote-unquote smart money is people that are looking to leverage their way into a degree, maybe not 90 or 95 or 100% leverage like we saw through the mortgage meltdown or leading into the mortgage meltdown, but fiscally sound lending where there's still very big incentive to go ahead and finance because of the low cost of money.
You know, Nelson, I was just on a conference call last week with 7 CEOs of 7 mortgage companies. Each one of them did over $1 billion of loan originations last year. And a lot of these people are saying by the end of the third quarter this year, possibly by the fourth quarter, that we're going to see interest rates well over 4%, that within the next 12 to 18 months they're expecting interest rates to be double where they are right now. And there's all kinds of economic things moving around. That, by the way, this is just conversation. It's not a prediction. And I'm not trying to scare anybody into doing anything.
Why, it's scary talk when you talk about 4% interest rates. Who could handle that, right?
Yeah, right. I remember the first house I sold back in 1982. The buyer got their FHA loan, 16.5% fixed rate, 5.5 points. You know, that was a tough interest rate marketplace. But there's a lot of things out there right now. You know, go to YouTube and just type in the search engine Chinese housing bubble and watch the 13-minute segment from 60 Minutes. There's just so many factors out there that can really have an impact on the interest rate marketplace. And I really do believe this momentum in a huge shift. 2 years ago, it was less than 2 years ago, brokers were complaining about, well, nobody's showing my listings because they're all short sells. You know, and the people that were short sell listing agents were making a lot of money. Now the short sell and the REO guys are going like, where's all the short sells? Where's all the REOs? And now they're complaining about multiple offers. I think that we got about an 18-month window here, and I think rates are going to move up. And when they do, I've held this market right now for about 27 years, and they're going to move up. When they move up, that's going to get some balance into the marketplace, because we went from that pendulum over here way over to the other side. It's too hot. It's too frothy right now. And it's going to calm down, and it's going to come back down in the middle. I don't know if it's going to be 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, but it's coming. And
it's going to be there for the innovators in our marketplace, and we're going to stare at that as we look into the future in our show. This is Nelson Radio. You've been listening to Street Noise. This segment brought to you by our legal partner, the law offices of Kelly S. Johnson, one of Orange County's most accomplished legal representatives. Give us a shout. We want you to contact us, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. I'm with my special guest host, Ron Quintero. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Waiting for
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients' money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio. I'm with my guest host, Ron Quintero, the CEO of Real Estate Radio Network, recognized as an industry leader helping rebuild our real estate market. This segment brought to you by Best Chauffeured, worry-free and on-time limousine transportation services. If you need a limo, all you need to do is text the word limo to 313131, and you can reach out to us direct. I'll answer the phone, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or you can connect with us at nelsonradio.com. And Ron, I'm excited. We're broadcasting remote this week from really one of the legendary restaurants of Orange County, founded in 1979. And what's fabulous about Antonello's Ristorante is, and I don't say it properly, so I know I'm going to be corrected, but what's fantastic about Antonello's is that the wait staff and the bar staff have been here for 2 decades, 2.5 decades. It's in large part many of the same crew that started in '79.
I got a great idea.
What's that?
Call the limo company.
Yeah.
And just have them drive you here.
Perfect.
To Antonello.
Yeah.
It's a perfect combination.
One way. One way. So I want to introduce the ownership of Antonello's. Antonio and Fiorella. How'd I do, Fiorella?
Good, thank you.
And they're joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about the restaurant, and one of the things that I picked up, we talked about this in our opening segment, but romancing the stove. Romancing the stove. There's the first edit. Romancing the stove, and really taking an old world culture, an old world menu, and bringing that into today's world of fast-changing restaurants, technological changes. So we're going to explore that, but before we do, welcome to the show, Antonio and Fiorella. And most importantly, I've got to ask about your newborn, little Talisa. Talisa.
I let my wife speak about it. I think she has a much better voice than I got. People remember her, they won't remember me. That's for sure.
No. Amen.
Talisa is our sweetheart. She's 11 months old, and that's it. So there is nothing to say. We are very happy.
Precious little girl.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
And already
sweet.
Daddy's little girl?
Already Daddy's little girl, yeah.
Absolutely. We had, I must, my wife was next to me, that she had a lot of, we lost a few babies before, so we had a little, she is I would say, a miracle child. So she's very, absolutely, we try so hard to have her, and now, like I said, we look at her, she's 11 months old. It's just like absolutely, like every day I'm thinking this is like absolutely a miracle,
It's an adventure to have her.
Yeah, and she's here now, about to have her first birthday coming up in June, and a precious little girl. I'm going to put her little sweet face up on our website if you don't mind.
Yes, absolutely. That'd be nice.
Congratulations.
She's going to thank you later. Right now.
So talk to us about that. You have an old world business, certainly founded in the roots of Italy, and so much of what you do has that old guard feel, but the restaurant business isn't slowing down. It's embracing all of technology. How do you blend everything?
I think what we started in 79, and almost all my entire staff has been with me for 34 years, and some of them, they've been with me when I used to be a manager, and the other restaurant was called Alfredo in Southwest Plaza Hotel. And so some of them, they've been with me for 38 years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So, we have
my same age, Ron.
I'd love to hear a comment on this. How many restaurants during those years around you have you seen come and go?
Yeah, we have. Well, I'm talking about the rest of the people. They left me, and
no, just the restaurant business.
They come and go.
Well, yes. Definitely. Since '75, that's when I first came to this country, and I've seen a lot of restaurants, and it's when I used to work at the Southwest Plaza Hotel, we received an award. And I was at the Southern California Restaurant Writer Association, and there was like a major award, and there was all the biggies like Ambrosia, the Ritz, and Hans Prager, and all the big names, Peter Jepson from Scandia. And so those days were like the days that you had a restaurant and the name, and you were like, I was so afraid because, these guys, they were the big guys, and when I just opened my restaurant, I was just a little guy just coming up, and you look up to them. So that's basically what drove me to still be here today, is because you're trying to be those guys, and no matter what the time goes by, you're still never those guys, and you keep striving for better and better and better and better and better until who knows where we're going to end up. So I don't know.
And here we are 34 years later.
That's correct. Actually, I just started. Every day I come to work and I believe this is. I feel like I just started. I'm just starting. It's just another day, because you're only as good as your last meal. So it's not going to say I've been here 34 years, I should just relax, And, of course, I did for a little bit of time, and probably I went dormant, and, I always say to the people, we only dose, but we never close, So
you only dose, we never close.
But so anyway, it's right now we are going back in time. We are just bringing back the Antonello that was that we opened up 33 years ago with serving people at the table like we used to, making again things that was forgotten. Most of the restaurant, everything is done in the kitchen. You bring it out. We want to start doing all the cooking at the table again. Yes. Like the crepe Suzette, cherry jubilee, bananas Foster, things that people forgot about, like the steak Diane.
I remember doing this broadcast. Let's get it going.
Yeah. So that's basically what we're doing right now, and believe it or not, and
I love that.
It's a new buzz, because everybody's doing the same thing, the typical Italian food, and we are not, because we are. Since day one, my father used to grow our own vegetable, and still we do it today. So we never left.
And with that, I want to ask you, before we break here out of this first segment, I want to ask you about a cookbook. You've developed some recipes. You've released a cookbook?
Yes.
And tell us about that.
Yes, I make the cooking class here at Antonello. Yes. So when I met my husband, and we date the first night, he says, "Fiore, you want to marry me? You will be the princess in Orange County." I says, "Yes, of course." So
that's what he told you, the princess.
The princess in the kitchen. Go to work. I said, "Okay, perfect." No, yes, I do the cooking class here at Antonello. So I prepare a lot of recipe. My recipe that remind me where I was a baby is the gnocchi. We make the gnocchi here, but not with potatoes, with ricotta only. They are very light. There is ricotta, a little bit of olive. Well, I don't want to say the recipe on the radio. I have to come to eat it over here. That's my secret.
When do you have the classes?
Here at Antonello. Yes, I do it every month, the last Friday of the month. Next one will be August the 2nd, because I have to stop 2 months because we will leave for Italy next week. So we can have a little holidays.
And Ron, I think that's just a great tradition, a 34-year history of a restaurant business in Orange County. And you asked the question earlier, there's been thousands that have come and gone. Yeah. And here Antonello's is at South Coast Village, and providing just that beautiful old world service.
Right across the street from South Coast.
Right across the street from South Coast.
And now we have music every night. We have Paco, is Pasquale, is playing every night, and we have people dance, and we have it's a wine lounge right now that we're in right now.
We have a guest.
Something new.
We have a guest coming up that has a musical background. Can't wait to introduce Tim Carr. Coming up next, stay with us. You're listening to Nelson Radio. CEO of Real Estate Radio Network is co-hosting with me, Ron Quintero. This segment brought to you by Best Chauffeured, worry-free and on-time transportation services. If you need a limo, text the word limo to 313131. I want to thank Antonio and Fiorella for letting us broadcast from your restaurant and being on our show.
Thank you very much, and please come to Antonello.
We'll be right
good
back.
Food and good service. Don't forget.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio. I'm with my guest host, Ron Quintero. We're looking at vision and the future of our real estate market with Villa Real Estate, one of Newport's finest luxury markets and innovators that are leading the charge on embracing technology and bringing it into our marketplace to the consumer's benefit. This segment brought to you by Insurance Incorporated, professional and courteous insurance services, reducing premiums along the way as much as 40%. We want you to contact us anytime through our show. You can reach us at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or connect with us on the web at nelsonradio.com. So, Ron, I'm excited because Tim Carr, our guest here in this upcoming segment, one of the founders and principals of Villa Real Estate, has been had an iconic career here in Orange County and in the Newport Beach coastal community luxury market. And it's interesting that somebody at his success is now launching a new platform.
Yeah, and what I love about what they're doing is they're harnessing technology, Yelp ratings, search engine optimization, all the stuff that YouTube, the videos. We were talking with the, I think we're talking in the next segment with the Steve High.
Steve High.
Is that Steve High?
Correct.
And some of the things that we had a conversation around is, and he's going to talk about this a little bit. So, folks, if you're listening, stick around. You're going to want to hear what Steve High had to say.
And most importantly with Tim, he's a run and gun and anteater. Welcome to the program, Tim. Graduate of the Paul Mirage School of Business at UC Irvine, my alma mater. How you doing?
Thank you.
So talk to us about that. Other than being an anteater, talk to us about why you would pull up stakes and launch a new platform when really you're in your sweet spot at the epicenter of your career.
It was really interesting because I told all of my friends I would never do it again. We had a wild success with Strata Properties. We were very fortunate. We sold at the top of the market because we were all fighting, and it was just dumb luck, with some skill on the wall. So, but interestingly enough, we were approached by Gary Jabara, and the company was set up before we joined. So the agent base, myself, Steve High, Evan Corquette, Kim Bibb, John Flagg, were all brought on after the brand and the company were built. And it was an interesting blend because our previous company, when we owned Strata, we did everything ourselves. I was the CFO, the CEO was brought up within the ranks, and we were great at selling real estate. We weren't great at running a business.
But man, you guys were extremely well known. I mean, you guys really dominated the coastal properties and Laguna Beach and Newport. I mean, I was here in Orange County during that time. You guys were dominant.
We did really well financially, but internally running that business, there were holes.
Controlled mayhem.
Yeah, and it's been fun with our new venture because we have a really strong business partner with a great business background, extremely successful, well funded, and that and the combination of the marriage with the agent base has really allowed us to make huge gains. And we've been open 45 days. I think we're at about $200 million in inventory, and we have 68 agents already. So we're growing quickly, and it's been a lot of fun.
Talk to us a little bit about your partner that came in. He's coming from the technology sector.
Sure.
Tell us about Gary.
Gary, who I've only known recently, background is his company's called Mobility, and they're one of the largest cell tower owner in the nation. And one of my first questions to Gary is, why would you want to get into residential real estate? That was our first meeting. And he really felt there was an opportunity in the luxury markets to grow a company and succeed and be profitable. And with our agent base and our background, having done it before, he felt that would be a real good blend or good marriage. And it has been, having that strong business background with an ethical agent base, allowing us to choose the agents that we'd like to join the company, has really allowed us to, hopefully provide one of the best boutique brokerages out there today.
And with that, I think it's an interesting blend. And with any technology, it can distance our consumer, our home buyers and our home sellers from the actual business. How do you blend that back together? At the end of the day, like Antonello, we're broadcasting from Antonello's Ristorante here in Orange County. Tony was sharing how customer service is still the keystone of what he does. How do we do that with technology and our real estate?
Technology has really made our business easier. Everyone said 10 years ago, when the internet comes, it's going to wipe you out. There won't be a need for agents. And it's the complete opposite. The consumer's much more knowledgeable. Like Steve's going to comment on, the consumer today is seeing every property on the market before you show them, but they still need that face-to-face negotiation. And the knowledge, the local knowledge of the realtor, the business background, the negotiating skills, and there's still a lot of complications and legal obstacles in deals that require a strong broker. So if anything, our jobs become easier. The other thing everyone said was the commission would shift and become lower, which it really hasn't, because people see the value in having a strong agent representing them. So I think if anything, the service level has become greater. You know, the agents that are doing well, there's probably a smaller pool of those agents being extremely successful, but everyone still uses agents. You know, there are cases where a Redfin or one of the other discount brokerages may sell in certain neighborhoods, and if you look at the majority of the sales, they're still using traditional agent model.
Well, and discounted fees means discounted service. It's really simple. You know, and if you're a professional, let's say it's a man and a woman living in a house together, hopefully married, but even if they're not, just sharing that household, they're both busy careers, maybe they have kids, and who knows what's going on. They don't have time. They don't have time, and they need to hire professionals, just like you hire a tax professional to be able to handle your tax. Do you cut your own hair? Do you do your own teeth? I could justify the fees for what a real estate professional does all day, every day.
And you wouldn't go to a $1 dentist. You wouldn't go to a $1 cardiologist. So I think that just like what you talked about, being a proficient negotiator, especially in this marketplace, and the nameplates that you mentioned, Evan Corkett, Tim Carr, Steve High, John Flagg, these are the cornerstones of the Newport Beach marketplace that demands that kind of negotiator in this environment.
And you bring up a great point. You're selling the largest asset that you have in most people's cases, and they want someone with that representation, that knowledge, and they'll be successful.
So before we break here, tell us a little bit about a specific property. You've got one of your listings in Corona Del Mar, and I just wanted you to paint the word picture for marketing property and this specific home that you've brought to market.
It's interesting that we're here at Antonello's because it's truly an Italian villa. The property on waterfront. It's listed at $2,950,000. Beautiful tri-level property, bay views in the heart of Corona Del Mar, and it reminds me so much of this restaurant. It's coincidental.
And that's a 5-bedroom, 5-bath house?
Yes. And you know what's cool about Corona Del Mar is you're not just buying a home, you're buying into a community. Corona Del Mar is very unique. And by the way, those of you that are listening right now in the Los Angeles basin or maybe Ventura, you might want to come down to Corona Del Mar for a weekend. It is just a phenomenal place to look at, to just be at. It's a great property. And not to mention, I think that's kind of on the lower end. I mean, you have a lot of properties over in Corona Del Mar that exceed that sales price. So to be able to get in kind of under the radar, that's a good opportunity.
It's generating a lot of activity. It's probably the best priced property in Corona Del Mar today.
Wow.
So we're seeing a lot of activity on that property.
I like the invitation. Come down from Ventura, come down from LA County, spend a weekend in Corona Del Mar. Tim Carr leading the charge to buy that new home down in Corona Del Mar, and a fabulous dinner at Antonello's along the way. Tim, I want to thank you for joining us. It's Tim Carr, one of the founders and partners of Villa Real Estate, innovators in bringing today's technology into the real estate marketplace. This segment brought to you by Insurance Incorporated. If you want to reach us, please call us 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or you can reach us direct and or Tim Carr direct through our web platform, nelsonradio.com. We'll be right back.
Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
We're here broadcasting remote at Antonello's Ristorante in South Coast Village. We're talking state of the future with industry innovator of Villa Real Estate President Steve High. Nelson Radio is delighted to be with my special guest host, Ron Quintero. And we're diving deep here on really what the changes are coming into the industry, the innovators that are making a difference in reinventing our industry. This segment brought to you by Title 365. With any listener questions, you can contact us direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or submit your questions on our website, nelsonradio.com.
You know, Rob, as we kick off the show here, I've been in Orange County for about 20 years, and we've seen a lot of companies come and go. And so I want to be able to ask the question of our guest. Have you introduced them?
And here we are. I'm about to do that.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. So, the president of Villa Real Estate, in a long history in your experience in the luxury market, Steve High, welcome to Nelson Radio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. Anyways, back to what I was starting to say. We've seen a lot of companies come and go. I sold real estate for over 20 years in Orange County, and there's been a lot of boutique shops down there. There's been a lot of big national players. We've seen the big franchise names come and go. Why the need for a new company in Newport Beach?
Well, I think that, like any entrepreneur, you look at your competitors and you say to yourself, I think I can do this better than everybody else. So just this past year, some partners and I were approached by an investor and asked if we wanted to start a new real estate brokerage firm. So we just began as of April 1st of 2013.
So beyond that, that's pretty courageous because that's one of the most competitive marketplaces in the country.
You went to the epicenter of competition.
Well, yes. My history is that 13 years ago, we started a brokerage firm called Strata Properties. And at that time, 13 years ago, the model was much about building an in-house advertising agency associated with a real estate company. And today, we are 13 years later. I think that the whole paradigm of real estate has changed dramatically. To me, really a real estate company needs to embrace technology. And to credit, some of the companies that we compete against with, I think that Orange County has created some of the finest brands and marketing and advertising in our industry. But where I saw a void in the marketplace was the company that was not only going to have the great marketing and advertising and branding, but was also going to harness the world of the internet and embrace technology. Most of the companies have been very reactive to the marketplace. I'm hoping that Villa is going to be on the forefront of technology moving forward. So that was really where we saw the void in the marketplace and what we wish to fill.
Well, the demand is there. We've seen so many companies that still are their embracing of technology or larger ads in the yellow pages, and you kind of shake your heads and go, come on, that can't be today's leading marketing and leading technology advances. You mentioned one thing. So many groups talk about the state of the week, state of the year, state of the industry, and you talk about the state of the future.
Mm-hmm.
What's that all about?
Well, I think that the future is really about harnessing the internet, and really where we see this becoming a much bigger part of our industry is that 93% of all of our buyers today start the process of searching for real estate on the internet, and yet it's sort of the Wild West. Somebody goes and they start searching the internet, and you never really know what they're going to find out there. Really, much of what our job today as real estate professionals is to not only provide the information to our buyers and our sellers, but to help them translate the information. There are a lot of big real estate technology websites like Zillow and Realtor.com that provide information to the buying public, but it's not associated with the local regional brokers, and we need to get that information in the hands of the best brokers locally, and then they can interpret it for the buying public or the selling public. But going back to the thought of how we go about this is there's so much involved in search engine optimization and keywords. When somebody's searching for an oceanfront in Newport Beach, is making certain that they are going to the Villa website to get all of their information, to provide all the data that they need. So we're going to really spend a lot of energy, time, money involved in search engine optimization and pay-per-click and all these new methods of making certain that we're picking up the buyers when they're out there searching on the internet.
Ron, we've talked about that in previous shows, and certainly, obviously, we're focusing on a local market, and in this case, the coastal communities. But the international community has been invited to the party. We've all seen that, and the tagline that's floating around the Asian communities and many other areas is that the coastal communities of California are on sale. Mm-hmm. So they have access to the information.
I got to jump in for a second. What Steve just said a couple of minutes ago when he was talking about we're an advertising agency that, we just happen to, our product's real estate. In the last 5 years, I've been consulted and retained to now put inside of real estate and mortgage companies full-blown marketing studios with green screen and video technology and YouTube channels. And so, to have that vision 13 years ago, you're way ahead of the curve.
Well, I don't know if I was way ahead of the curve, but I did see it coming, and we hope that we're going to embrace it. We don't want to be reactive. We want to be proactive in the marketplace, and we want to be the ones that are creating the technologies in the marketplace overall. And we feel very fortunate. Our partner has a background in technology, Gary Chavarro with Mobility Company, who's been a very successful cellular phone operator. And we felt that he was the perfect partner. It's very rare that you find somebody in the technology field that has an interest in going in real estate. And so we feel very blessed to have him as our partner.
You're listening to Nelson Radio right here on KTLK AM 1150. We're with the president of Villa Real Estate, Steve High, and this segment brought to you by Title 365. As you have questions, reach out to us direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136 or at nelsonradio.com. It just prompts the question in terms of we have the international community. Is your platform marketing specifically to reach that international buyer, or are we marketing to the local community?
Well, I think that today what we're realizing, especially in coastal Orange County with our luxury homes, that in the past 3 years, 10% of our buyers have been international buyers, be it from China, Russia, other countries as well. But our job is to not only service the local market, also the national market, because we still see an abundance of buyers coming throughout the United States, but we also need to hit those international buyers. And whereas many of our competitors are using kind of the three well-known national websites, what we want to do here at Villa is really embrace our international buyers as well. So we've done a lot of studies on this, and we want to take our listing information and syndicate it and get it out to the 25 largest international websites that are definitely honed in on finding these buyers throughout the world. Very, very important for us in representing our sellers right now.
And Ron, you've had the experience as well with leading the charge for the Real Estate Radio Network. You've crept out on that branch at a time where the real estate market was crashing around us, and you've chosen to do the same thing. Now we're in a quickly changing marketplace. That's certainly the case. Steve High, the president of Villa Real Estate, thanks for being with us. This segment brought to you by Title 365, bringing transaction status live to the marketplace. You can reach us direct at Nelson Radio. 888-2136. That's 888-2136, or on the web at nelsonradio.com. We're moving towards the stump. Stump the experts. We'll be right back.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST, or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST, or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio. I'm with my guest host, Ron Quintero. We're moving into the Stump the Experts. This segment presented by Academy Mortgage. And I love this, bringing close-on-time guarantees to our marketplace, actually accountability from the lending side. Ron, where do you see that? If you want to reach us, call us direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. And so I want to move into Stump the Experts. Shotgun these questions. I asked Tim Carr to come back into our program. Tim, one of the founders and principals of Villa Real Estate, and just kick these questions around with us. What do we got?
So a big question that's coming in right now around the Real Estate Radio Network, around the country, is should people be paying cash or should they be leveraging their transaction using some borrowed monies and maybe buying multiple properties if in fact they have a great down payment?
Tim, what do you do with that tug of war? I mean, you have on one side attention that needs to be garnered from an all-cash offer, and then others that are saying, I do want to finance this, and instead of buying one property, buy two or three.
It's really a two-part answer. I think it's real important if you have the ability to show that you can write a cash offer. You always write that in your offer so that you have the ability to get that property or secure it. But I had a client today buying a duplex, and a very conservative couple. They had about $1 million. They wanted to buy a duplex. I said, well, why wouldn't you put half your money and buy two duplexes at 3.5% interest rates? So I think it's definitely use cash to get the property and put debt on it once you have that property, once you can secure it.
So use the cash as you're negotiating. I mean, that's like strong arming. That's the deal, right? It's like we're just bulldozing over all the other competitors wanting that property. But we're going to go ahead and get it, take it off the market, and then maybe refinance and pull some of that cash back out and re-leverage it.
That's correct.
And this is something that we just talked about last week, in fact, and introducing now into the marketplace the ability that somebody that can write the check for the property to secure the purchase and do just that. Immediately following, we can run a refinance transaction concurrent with the purchase escrow and record a new loan on the property the following week, and you have the best of both worlds. Offer accepted on an all-cash basis, now restocking the cash shell so that you can redeploy and buy other property by putting a mortgage on the property. Makes sense.
Yeah, I see so many people in the marketplace right now that are just doing some crazy things. And I think some of these people are not thinking the power of leverage all the way through it. I just saw a transaction down in San Diego, which is where I'm from, $1.6 million, and they just plan on paying $1.6 million. And some of your listeners right now are going like, those people out there really doing that? And the answer is yes. Not only foreign investors, I mean, there's a lot of people, there are a lot of Americans out there doing that right now. And so
writing a check for their property.
Yeah, and you really want to look at the opportunities in terms of, by the way, I recommend all my clients sit down with a financial advisor. Make sure you sit down and you have great guidance, great counsel to make an informed decision, the best fiscal decision possible for you and your family.
And it's a great segue in terms of the mortgage strategist. That's a role that I think that I try and bring to the marketplace, Tim. In looking at these different strategies, it segues perfectly into this next question in terms of a fellow that's looking to buy into the market. He's anticipating a liquidity event with the sale of his company in the next few years. And he was asking the question, should I buy with interest only as a mortgage or just a traditional fixed rate? Do you have thoughts there?
It just depends what you're looking for. The interest-only loans are fantastic in terms of keeping that payment low.
And the cash flow high.
Yeah, keeping your cash flow high. But there's so many amazing products out there right now, a 15-year, 30-year, at rates you'll never see again. So I like the interest-only loan from the fact that for 4 or 5 years you can lock in a real low rate. But I also like the amortizing rates at 3.5%, that you'll never see again.
And I think a big part of that is it their forever home that they plan on moving in and raising their family in and leaving a legacy and passing that family, to their children, their grandchildren, and all that fun stuff? Or is it a home that they're living in to accommodate their current lifestyle that maybe they're going to be selling in 3, 5, 7 years and then moving into a property that is going to be their forever home then the interest only does make sense. So it really depends upon lifestyle, where you are in terms of your age, your game plan.
And this is where I like the sage advice of a market veteran like yourself, Tim. Thanks for jumping in on Stump the Expert. This segment brought to you by the National Lending Powerhouse, Academy Mortgage. We want you to call us direct, 888-888-2136. Before we end this week's show, as we do each week, we showcase our sponsor orphanage down in Moshi, Tanzania, Treasures of Africa. A little girl down there, Helena. And Helena was brought to Treasures of Africa when she was 9 years old. Her father had died, her mother had abandoned her, and she and her sister were living with her alcoholic uncle and her elderly grandparents that couldn't provide any care for her. The 2 kids were brought, and if you saw this little girl's picture, she is just north of precious. She's absolutely a stunning little girl that's now thriving, 12 years old, and doing very well. We want to ask you to step forward as a sponsor. You can name your sponsorship, whether that's $20 a month, $30 a month, and for that one special donor out there, a $2 million gift is going to help rebuild the entire organization down in Moshi and facilitate the development of their 5-acre parcel with new housing, new education building, new dispensary for the medical needs. It's a fabulous organization. TreasuresOfAfrica.com. And Ron, I want to thank you for being on the show, and as well just taking a look at that snapshot into the future with Villa Real Estate and how they're blending together in a real way, not just, hey, I'm represented on social media, but in a real way, today's technology and how it's evolving and changing our real estate market.
These guys could have picked a lot easier fights in terms of going to different marketplaces where the competition is not so thick and the roots are not so deep. And instead, with the success that they had with Strata Properties in the past, I'm going to really have my eye on the ball here. This is going to be fun to be able to watch them grow and thrive.
Innovators of the marketplace, Villa Real Estate, we want to thank them and those stalwart veterans that have joined that organization to help bring that technology and marry it together to the benefit of our consumer. Tim Carr, Steve High, Evan Corkett, all the veterans of a fantastic industry. And of course, our producer want to say thanks, Phil Giangron. You're listening to Nelson Radio. You can reach out to us, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. We'll be back with you next week, and we're going to be taking a closer look at now the condition of the foreclosure market, loan modifications, and short sales. We've been broadcasting from Antonello's Ristorante right here in South Coast Village, one of the premier Italian cuisine restaurants, if not in Orange County, certainly throughout the Southland, and encourage you to come on down here. 888-888-2136. We'll be back with you next week.